Hey guys, I'm Alistair from Trail and Kale, and this is my Lomi Composter review. So that video you just watched was basically me demonstrating how to use the Lomi countertop composter. The process from putting your food waste into the bucket inside the machine, and then how it comes out as nutrient-rich dirt. Now before I go on, I just want to let you know that this video is very much complementary to my in-depth review on trailandkale.com. So in that Lomi Composter review, there's lots more photos and I explain how the machine actually works, go over the features, why you might want one, and tons more. So definitely go visit that post. I'll put a link up there and one down in the description as well. So in this video Lomi Composter review, I'm going to demonstrate my first time actually using this machine, so you get my first impressions, my reactions of what the machine is like to use. That includes things like odors and noise levels of the machine, and what you actually get out of the machine once you've done it, and why it's rather cool in my opinion. After that, I'm going to go over some of the key features that I think are definitely worth you guys knowing. So definitely stick around throughout that video. Go check out my in-depth review as well, and enjoy this video. Okay, so I've just run my first Lomi experiment to see how our food waste is going to get composted down. Basically what you're seeing in the video is the fact that I have been storing the food waste in the fridge in a container because I don't want to put it straight into the machine because it might start smelling if I'm going to leave it a few days before actually running the decomposting cycle. So I'm using the longest cycle, which is the grow cycle at the moment, because I want to use the compost that comes out of this to grow plants in the garden. So that's going to take, I think it's somewhere around 18 hours. So we're just going to leave that throughout the day and probably check back tomorrow morning to see what we got. So as you can see down here, I've got the Lomi doing its grow cycle. I just want to film this a little bit now, just so you can see how noisy it is, or how quiet it is. It's definitely a little bit noisier than I was expecting. There is a bit of a whir going on. I don't know if that's, the noise that happens when the cycle starts, and maybe it'll get quieter later on. But just for you to know, that's how it starts. There is a little bit of noise, so you might want to put your Lomi in your utility room if you have one, or just maybe ensure that the cycle happens overnight, so that you don't have to listen to it. But like I said, let's see what happens. Maybe it will get quieter when the cycle gets further along. Okay, so let's briefly talk about the different Lomi modes that are available. So here you can see at the top, you've got grow mode on the left, and then you've got the Eco Express mode in the middle, and then the Lomi approved mode on the right. So to change between the modes, all you have to do is press this large power button for 3 seconds, and then it will switch to the icon to the right of what it's already on, and it will go green. That will tell you which one's selected. As you can see, I've got grow mode, which is the one I'm most excited about, and you can see that's selected green, so that's the one I'm using right now. So briefly then, what are the differences between the different Lomi modes? Well, Eco Express mode, this is basically for food waste, and it's for those who want to decompose food waste as quickly as possible. So within 3 to 5 hours, you can basically do the process and get your dirt out of your food waste. That's really good. For this mode, you can't put any bioplastics or compostable commercial goods in there. So, pros and cons to that mode. If you just want to turn your food waste into dirt and toss it in your garden, then that's the one you want to use, the Eco Express, the one in the middle. Then on the right you've got the Lomi approved one, and basically what this is for is basically you can break down bioplastics, compostable commercial goods, and packaging that are Lomi approved. It runs with food waste as well, and it takes 5 to 8 hours, so that's going to be a very popular mode for a lot of people. But the one I'm most interested in is grow, because I want to use my food waste to grow plants and maybe fruit, veg, salads in the garden. So this is what I'm most excited about with the Lomi, is that I can experiment with that just to see how much nutrients it gives the soil for growing plants and food that I want to eat. So, grow mode, it will take 16 to 20 hours, so it's the longest mode, but what it does is it preserves the microorganisms and bacteria, which are effectively most helpful to the soil to grow stuff, so that will give it the most nutrients. You don't want to put any bioplastics or compostable commercial goods on that mode, just so you're aware. This is just your food waste goes into grow mode. Okay, let's quickly talk about the activated charcoal that comes with your Lomi. So you will get 2 bags of activated charcoal, and it's basically just chips of charcoal, very small chips, comes in a little cardboard box here. You will get 2 bags. You may not notice at first, but the 2 bags are different sizes, and that's on purpose because there are 2 places on the Lomi where you need to put this activated charcoal into. So there's one inside, so you would lift the top lid off and fill up a little tube full of this activated charcoal. The reason for doing this is to stop the smell coming from the machine, because this is food waste. So if you didn't have a system in place to filter out the nasty smells like activated charcoal, then your whole house would smell, and the whole concept of this product just wouldn't be successful and it wouldn't work. So that's what your activated charcoal is for. So yeah, you fill 1 bag into the inside container, which filters from the inside of the machine, and then around the back of the machine there's another little drawer which is very easy to pull out. You'll pull it out, and then there's some wing nuts, sort of clips that you want to do, and just pour in your activated charcoal to the top of that drawer. Do up the little clips and the lid on there, pop it back in, and that's your smell resistance filter all sorted. Very easy and quick to do. Now, I believe you're supposed to kind of switch out this activated charcoal every 45 cycles, I believe it is. So depending on how often you use the machine, that could be maybe 3 months. This is a public service announcement to remind you to please like this video. It really helps our channel grow if you do that. Plus, I know that you guys are watching and you're enjoying the content and engaging with it. So please give it a like, drop a comment down below, let me know what you think about the Lomi Composter. Let me know if you're thinking about buying one or if you've already got one and you're enjoying it. What are Lomi Pods, and do you actually need to use them then? So, as I said earlier, your Lomi product will come with some Lomi Pods. It will come with a pack. There's 45 small pods in here, and they are this size. So very small. So basically what the pods do is they accelerate your compost cycle. So it allows the Lomi to decompost your waste much faster. It also makes the soil or dirt that comes out of it more nutrient rich. So Lomi Pods are really going to be for people who want to use this to grow plants or whatnot outdoors. So the dirt that comes out of this machine, you're going to want to mix 1 to 10 parts into soil. So 1 part's Lomi output dirt, mix it in with 10 parts soil that you already have. The Lomi Pods also help break down the biodegradable plastics as well, so you're definitely going to want to use them for those modes on there as well. Lomi Pods are also going to help reduce the smell from the machine. So you've also got the activated carbon charcoal, which I mentioned earlier, but the Lomi Pods will help with smell as well. So I have read that you don't actually need to use the Lomi Pods, so I will do some tests with and without them and let you know the differences, whether or not you actually need the pods. Okay, so it's the next day. The cycle took quite a while. Ended up that it had to go overnight, finish in the middle of the night, I believe. So yeah, anyway, we're going to have a look to see how all that food waste ended up getting composted. So let's have a look. Okay, so kind of looks like dirt. Fibrous. Can still see some orange peel, I think that is, or maybe it's lemon peel. But generally looks like dirt. And this stuff should be nutrient rich because I used the Lomi pod and I used the grow mode as well. So that's the longest cycle, which gives basically dirt that you can use to grow veg, herbs or plants with. So hopefully this is going to be good. That's what it looks like. The machine didn't actually get any quieter, so for me that's probably a bit too loud to be keeping the Lomi in my kitchen, especially as my living room is right next to it, so it's too loud really if I'm watching TV. I would recommend putting your Lomi in maybe a utility room if you have one, or making sure you run the cycle overnight so that it doesn't interrupt your very important Netflix time. Thanks for watching this Lomi Composter review. I really hope it kind of answers some of your questions regarding this at-home countertop composter. I have really been enjoying using it so far. It's just amazing being able to put your waste, your food waste and scraps to good use, because rather than throwing it out in the trash and ending up in a landfill, you can actually use it to, feed your plants, create vegetables, organic fruit, vegetables, herbs, salads, you name it. So it really does make sense to be able to use your food waste in a sustainable way like that. Once again, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, give it a like, and we'll see you next time for the next gadget review.